as you're talking, or
Oh, okay.
about to finish,
Yep.
you hear the door open, and from behind you, a man's voice. He says, "The king and the dancer were having a conversation. I looked at them with inquisitive eyes." And he's just sort of staring at you. He's a wicked smile and almost orange eyes.
He turns around.
He wears a fedora and a long coat and a pinstriped suit. Very noir. He's just sort of smiling at you.
She turns around and, like, with the most sarcastic tone, she's like, "Oh, well, aren't you handsome?"
She wasn't quite my type. Not enough voices in her head. And he says to you, "Hi, I'm Josh."
Alex is going to step up and go, "Alex Kairos."
The king approached.
The king approached, and would love to know in his court who he was speaking to.
He says in his normal voice, "My name is Joshua Chance."
The king approves. He's picking right up on the dialogue here and playing right along with it. Yeah.
And weird
Naomi,
things started
like,
to happen.
skips.
It was almost like the king could read my mind.
The king must know his subjects, and
Would you like bows to him?
and he's going to get even bolder here and say the king would like to be introduced to his other subjects as well. If Joshua would do the honor of do him that honor.
Oh, the asshole that right in there in the bar is Gabriel. The pothead next door is Scarlet. Marin is just a grumpy lady, really. She's La Sombra through and through. Lady of the darkened night and woo, all that. But I don't know if I can introduce anyone to you. Is Nathaniel here, by the way? I wish to speak with him.
He is.
I'm his apprentice, but if you ask him, I'm not.
He can't help but laugh. He's just laughing. He says, "In the room with the pothead, although you shall find the detective and upstairs with the grumpy lady." He's speaking in the parlance there.
The king gave me valuable information. I had to pursue this at once, and he starts turning towards and walk towards the others down the hall.
Yeah. Alex likes him.
You kind of gathered that he has no internal monologue.
Yeah.
Or inner monologue. Yeah.
He has an external one though.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I do.
He enters the room. Killjoy, you're kind of pushed in the back because you're standing at the door.
I was going to say, I'll block him if I can, just for a half second, unless he literally pushes me out the way.
No, he's just trying to get past you, and he's saying, "An orphan was in my way. I had to deal with him."
You could try talking to him.
He says, "Hi, I need to get upstairs. Can you just move a bit?"
Joshua, right? Yeah. What were they talking about?
Who?
People behind you.
The king.
He's sure the king. Big cheese.
About getting to learn about getting introduced to his subjects. Yes, and he sort of moves past you.
Yeah, I let him
go. And he moves past Scarlet, just sort of waves, looking at the ground. I didn't find any clues in the room. No hints about Mirren's whereabouts. Neither Nathaniel's. They must be near. And he sort of rushes up the stair. And he's hit by something because he comes right down again. On his back, landing on the floor. And Scarlet says, "I told you about that, dear. Can't go up if you're not invited." And he's sizzling. It's not a burn wound, but his skin is kind of red. It obviously wasn't nice. Some of you know that is what it feels like to step in a ward. Yeah.
Are you alright? You okay?
He's lying on the floor and saying, the witch put up wards. I had to figure out a way to get past them. Maybe I could trick her somehow. There was a raven on a table. He asked me something. I have to pay attention. And he's looking at you, Vaughn.
And then Vaughn will get up and go over to him and put out his hand. And this raven wants to know if you're okay.
The raven stretched his wings. I grabbed his hand, and he grabbed your hand.
And then Vaughn pulls him up. And
Thank you.
Let me take a look at that. And it's just like, ugh. I mean, it's not going to leave a mark or anything, but that's pretty rough. And and he looks over at Scarlet like, damn.
It's fine. I forgot. I'm not invited because I go through things I shouldn't go through. Privacy.
Like what?
Overrated. People care so much about that privacy. But when you hear people's privacy all the time, you start not to care.
Understood.
You're a clever raven, you understand.
Of course. More than you know. Well, maybe very much as you know.
He looks towards JK and says, a reaper was in the corner. Maybe someone died. I had to figure this out. And he rushes towards you and stretches out his hand. Hi, just your chance, detective.
Hello? And he'll...
Like he's conducting an interview all of a sudden. Did anyone die nearby?
No, not recently.
The Reaper was just hanging out. Weird. It had to be covering something.
Killjoy's just gonna like lean over to Vaughn and go like, seriously, this guy survived? Like,
he is the first Malkavian you've run into, though.
yeah.
You'd be surprised. That intuition keeps you alive sometimes.
The king's court was standing around, sitting maybe. Where was the king? He starts to look around for Alex. Are you guys still in the hallway, or have you entered the room?
I've gone back in the room.
Yeah, per the map here, I've actually decided to take Alex into the bar, and have him sit right down next to Gabriel, very boldly. Right, he's just gonna stride in, like Alex has done so many times in a situation, like he belongs there. He's undeterred. He's just gonna walk right in, like he's a regular at the place. Sit right down.
The moment you do, Gabriel raises his hand, just goes like that, and immediately some bartender starts fiddling around. And almost exact moment you sit down, a beer is put in front of you.
Bam.
Yeah.
And he's going to take it, and he's going to chug it all the way down. Is it a can? It's a can of beer?
A bottle.
Okay, a bottle. And then, sit it right down as he finishes it off.
It's actually, you look at it, it's nice beer.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
It's nice beer. It's
okay.
It's not some Pilsner shit or anything. It's Belgish, first of all.
Yeah.
And it's top shelf. It doesn't look like a top shelf, but you start looking around the bar, and it's actually quite expensive stuff. And they have a lot of different beer.
Yeah.
Which you can appreciate from all over the world. Everything from Hancock to Snyder Weissbier and even American beer.
Gabriel, I gotta hand it to you. You've got some great taste in beer here.
It's one of the few gifts I have left. Not all of us are able to appreciate it, but I see you can do too as well, Mr. Kairos.
Yes, indeed.
Do you mind if I call you Alex?
You can call me Alex.
The other thing is so fucking pretentious. You know what I mean?
It really is, isn't it? And he's just gonna sidle right up to him and basically like, yeah, it really is. And I think we got off on the wrong foot earlier. And I was hoping to catch up with you. And
it's not a wrong foot. I get you're young. but I also know who pulls the strings. I've dealt with Blackstone before.
Yeah.
I know of his... He likes to do little experiments. And it's not always so nice for the people involved in the experiments.
What do you mean, little experiments?
A few years back, he took a child of mine and Adrian's. Is sort of a... let's see if two new embraced vampires can be brought from two factions, and we put them in the same room and we make them work together. Let's see if that can work out. Let's put a Ventru and a Bruja in a room, newly embraced, and make them do things. And obviously it didn't work out.
Obviously. That sounds...
Two very... They're actually doing quite well until elder vampires started to see their domain was expanding, and that they were doing well. The experiment was a success until they started interfering and putting thoughts in my child's head, and the other one, Adrian's, and unfortunately it ended with them being ash.
I'm sorry you had that experience.
But now you understand maybe a little of my adversity towards your granddaddy.
I understand. Are we able to talk in private here, or is this considered private? I have some things I'd rather discuss with you in person with nobody else listening. I've noticed that there's other parties that you have here, which, hey, you keep the company you keep. But they are... they let their curiosity get the best of them and try to know things they haven't been given permission to know. So I'd like to be able to speak to you personally, just one-on-one, where other parties will not be listening in.
Let's go out for smoke then.
Okay. That's what he's going to do.
Is everyone okay with me taking the scene with Alex first, or do you have something you want to do while he's talking to Gabriel? It can happen at the same time. It's just if you want it to happen before or after.
I just text Alex, to see if how everything's just generally going, but that could be at any point. I don't care. Yeah.
Killjoy would probably block Naomi from getting in the door without a question first.
Oh, okay.
As well. Just he's got this compulsion. He's fucking acting on it always. The beast is telling him to do something. Beast is to be listened to.
Okay, then I'm fucking I'm not staying in the hallway with this dude, so
Vaughn would also knowing that there's a big gathering next door and you can hear a little bit of the music, and he's like, oh, that's a jam right there, that's a vibe, I'm gonna go.
The band who was in there, a cover band, have stopped playing, and they're currently packing their things, so now it's on speaker. It's a playlist playing. It's still metal.
Hell yeah.
Anything from power to death to black. It's just an old school classical rock.
Okay.
But all of it is guitars with distortion. That genre. Alex, you step outside with Gabriel.
Yeah, I assume out the front door, unless there's another.
Yeah, there's not many people in the streets. It's just drunk people, kind of swaying home and yelling to each other how drunk people are when it's about 3-4 a.m.
Okay.
And he lights 2 cigarettes and hands you one of them.
A takes it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, what do you intend to do with the girl?
I intend to take care of her, in terms of making sure that she understands how to take care of herself and how to make sure that she doesn't endanger the rest of us.
Are you not a bit too high clan to have a thin blood pet?
And he says, Gabriel, that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. You've already described the awful experiment that my that Mr. Blackstone performed, and I between you and me, I had no real love for my sire either, and
I'm not wary of you, Mr. Kairos, or Alex, if we can finally disperse with those formalities.
Yeah.
I'm wary of your beast. I know how you can be, just as how I can be.
Absolutely. And that's for each of us to handle. I don't have too much trouble handling my beast. As you can already tell. And he takes a drag off the cigarette. He's like, I'm pretty cool in most situations. But, you know, we all get into a situation that things don't go so well. And it's my interest to make sure that those kindred that are under my care that we take care of such situations as quickly and cleanly as possible. And for the safety of all of us, really. And that's because, as you know, the environment is more dangerous than ever for us. And
you won't survive for long, you know it.
Yeah.
Well, if you do up being her stepdaddy, and anything happens to her, I will personally put my boot very far up your rectum. It's not a threat. It's just, it's what's gonna happen. So just make sure, if you say yes, that you are fully capable and not using her. I believe that you have good intentions. You are young, which I like, and you're a rock star.
Yeah.
So if it was classical music and everything that I usually associate with your clan, we probably wouldn't be talking. But I respect your youth, and I respect a certain friend that you have along the coast.
Thank you.
Which is also a reason why we're talking.
Yeah.
But I will not hesitate. I just want to be honest.
Gabriel, I respect that. And if I see that she acts out of line, or if she comes to any danger, that issue will be dealt with.
You didn't have kids, right?
No.
Before you... No. She's late teen. She's a girl. She probably misses her parents. She does not know what she is. And it's going to be very hard for her to cope with it. I imagine that you can use your powers to make her listen. But I think it's best if you don't. If you want to build any kind of trust with her, because maybe she can run away during the day and you can't stop her. We don't know the extent of her thin bloodiness. Some of them can eat and go into the sun, and this one seems very much alive. She seemed cold when you came in.
Yeah. Gabriel, I appreciate your concern here. If you were in charge of her, what would you do?
Well, she's not my child, and she's not Bruja. Usually, when I embrace someone, I make sure they're tied down. I have a favorite thing to do to teach them a lesson, and then I shoot them in the chest with my Desert Eagle to show them they'll heal, and I'll toss them into a pool or the ocean to show them they're not breathing, and give them a crash course. But I don't think that would be appropriate with her.
Right.
But that is the Bruja way to immediately see if they have the strength to survive and the will.
He coughs a little bit, like, okay, yeah, as I expected.
My previous child was brought into the world that way. He was gonna die anyways, but it was a shooting, and almost I have never figured it out, but the child Adrian was in the same accident, the shooting. And we had to turn those two specifically, and I don't know why Bradford wanted those two. But it was very clear that he wanted a Ventru and a Bruja for this experiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want to take care of her, you have my support. But just know that it's a huge responsibility, especially if she's thin blood. She does not have any rights. People can kill her without question.
Right.
And you can't stop them. Because they actually have to die by Camarilla law, so you would be preventing that and getting yourself into trouble.
Yeah. That's a fair point. And
I just want to make you aware.
Yeah.
Make sure you've thought this through.
Yeah.
I haven't met the others yet, but I sort of have to, or I have met them, but I have to gauge them more, feel how...
Here's the thing. If I turn her loose, she's almost certainly either going to die or leave.
She's going to kill someone and then die.
And then she's going to kill someone and then die. Yeah. I can't let that happen. Her life is over at that point anyway.
You could just let her stay here with us.
You know what? I could do that. I don't know that she would take well to the kind of raising that you just described. But I would need.
Oh, I would let Scarlet do it. She has the gentler touch.
Yeah. You know what? Scarlet, I don't know if I trust her completely. She kind of like was, she was one of the ones letting her curiosity get the best of her earlier. And so with me, I prefer to have my privacy respected.
I don't know if she can help it. She's not... well, she's stoned out of her mind. I don't think she even considers that it could be offensive.
Gabriel, let me get down to brass tacks here. What I want with you is your support. Okay, and if in exchange for your support,
in what,
you
Alex?
Agree, well, you were just mentioning how the way the traditions are, and the way that Camarilla runs things, and given and he's making sure he's out of earshot of everything here. He doesn't want anybody listening in, so he's not going to like cloak the terms for the sake of clarity, but he wants to make sure that nobody's listening. His phone is off, everything, that sort of thing. So, but he says, given the current state of the situation, okay, there's not much of anything right now, and there's not much of us, and we just came from a scene where clearly there are rogue elements in the situation, Sabat, and
I saw the news.
Yeah, and other Inquisitor factions, other SI factions. And so here's my proposal. First of all, we both know that if a Camarilla is not established in the city, the Camarilla at large will not stop until there is. Okay, can we agree on that?
I don't think they can, but I agree with you. I don't think they can, and I think they know it. Otherwise, they would have done so already. They know they can't oppose Mithras directly, and because none of the people who would actually be able to deal with him in person are not willing to sacrifice their own ass to do so. So they will do it the Camarilla way, with sending someone 3 times down the pyramid of rule. Yeah. And they won't be able to do it. That's why you're doing it, Mr. Alex.
Yeah. I understand that. But my question to you is, who would you rather have on, quote, the throne? Me or Mithras?
I don't want a throne.
I get that.
I don't think Mithras wants that either. He's a god.
He looks at him. He says, Mithras already believes he should have all of the world, I'm sure. And he would...
Britain has been his for 2,000 years at least. So in his mind, all of this is just a new fleeting thing, I would imagine. And he is very opposed to the Camarilla now, so I share that with him. But I get what you're saying. I don't think there's going to be a huge difference between his rule and the Camarilla. It's only going to be more bloody.
Yeah. And that will continue, because regardless of how many steps down, regardless of how much cannon fodder, the Camarilla, and I know, you may not like to admit it, but they will keep coming.
Let me make you a deal, Alex. I'll help you with whatever I can.
Yeah.
As long as when all this is done, and if your ass is on the seat.
Yeah.
I still have my bar, and you don't step in my business, I won't step in yours. I just simply want a place where Anox can hang out without fear of Camarilla intrusions.
Gabriel, if I'm on the throne, you will have a place, and your bar will be here.
But I will never follow your rules, but I will help you. We have the Masquerade, it's fine. I can respect domain as well. If you let me have my domain, I'll let you have the rest.
I see a future where I think our visions align, and the rules, such as they are, it's not so much what they are, it's how they're interpreted and how they're practiced. And I think there's opportunity to look at that in a new way with fresh eyes. And that's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying that your concerns and the way you want certain fresh initiates to what we are taken care of aligns exactly with my vision. I want that too. I think you and I are of like mind. On paper and in terms of certain older traditions, yes, exactly. People might say it looks different, but honestly, in practice, this is I believe we see eye to eye on a lot of things. But I can't say that right out in front of everyone for obvious reasons. But I'm speaking to you. Kindred is kindred, on the same level here, titles and everything aside. This is what I'm saying.
I respect that, and I hope I am around to see that come to fruition. And if it does, just know that I will always be there to confront your bullshit if it happens.
Of course. I need someone to confront bullshit when it happens. But I also need someone to get rid of and confront other bullshit that stands in the way of that happening. You and I both want a future with the things that we have. And I need you to be there. I don't need to worry about one more person who might be able to say, well, I'm just going to take what I want and leave, because that's how we are where we are. So I need you to make sure that you can promise to me that if I respect what you have here, you're going to respect what I have there.
Agreed.
And he doesn't know whether to shake on it or what, but he'll hold out his hand and
he'll hold out a fist.
Yeah, change it immediately. Like he will start the handshake and then and then that'll be the end of that, unless there's anything else, and walk back inside.
While that is happening, the rest of you are different places. I think I'll go to the bar room first. What are you doing, Naomi?
She's like, for the level of stress she's at right now, she just wished there was like one human. She didn't care. She would take any methods to try to seduce that person to just.
Oh, there are people in here.
Oh, they are?
I haven't added them all. They're on their way out. They're very drunk. The music has ended, and they're sort of getting the last beer or piss or getting their coke or whatever it is.
Is there a private washroom where I could just drink someone in a stall?
You can drag them into a stall for sure.
Sweet. Okay.
If you don't want to play it out, it's fine. You can just do.
Yeah, I don't. I just want to roll.
Do a stealth, because you don't want anyone to notice. I think dexterity, maybe a charisma if you want to do that instead. It depends if you're trying to lure someone in or if you're just sneaking into a booth where someone is already in.
Yeah, give me a moment. I was trying to get my image figured out.
And I'll reveal the bathrooms.
So what was the option that you threw at me?
Stealth and Dex or Charisma.
Okay. Oh.
And Vaughn, while
Yes.
this is happening, what are you doing?
He's chatting with like the bartender, and he's like, and he holds out between his fingers the tab of acid, and he's like, "Do you know of anybody who's looking to have a good night, so they can give me a good night?"
He sort of nods towards some people, and I think those already are. You just see a group of punk, late teens, maybe early 20s.
All right, and then puts the LSD back, and we'll make his way over there.
All right, Naomi, stealth, 5 with a crit. How much do you want to take?
As much as I can get without them. Can I just leave them kind of passed out but not dead?
Yeah, that's 2. You can't go below 1 unless you kill them. So I don't know how much hunger you have.
I have... Oh, I think I have 1.
You just take a sip then.
Okay.
You feel the effects of the alcohol.
Okay.
Obviously you don't get drunk, but you get that happy feeling from it, and that like you don't care as much.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Which is probably what you're looking for anyways right now. You calm down a bit and feel a little bit buzzed. Obviously it doesn't affect you as alcohol normally would. It's a neurotoxin, so you only get the positives from it. You're not your vision is not blurred, and you're not unbalanced.
Yeah, it's like
anything.
1 glass of wine. That's fine.
JK and Killjoy, what are you doing in the room next to the bar room?
Just looking suspicious at the Malkavian that just called him a Reaper.
He's currently walking around the room calling everything out that he sees in a very narrative and descriptive way.
Is it obvious that it's just Malkavian?
Most likely. He could have a mental illness or something, but yeah. You would have no way of knowing for sure.
Okay. I would like to pull out, like, from within my jacket, like a tiny bag of finger bones and use premonition.
Is there anything specific you're trying to get a look into, or are you just looking in the general future?
Just in the general future.
Yes, do the roll.
I have to rouse first. I am hungrier. And then
2. You can willpower 3 of those if you want.
Sure. Why not? Everyone else has done it, so my turn. That's a WP reroll, right?
Yes. And then just 3. 4 successes.
Haha.
Yeah, you leave your body, and you see a tall building for a moment, and then you're on a beach, but it's like you're lying all the way down in the sand and looking like it's a landscape, and there's a piece of glass, a shard that sticks out of the sand. Then you see a man. You know it's a man, you can't see the face. He's covered in grease. You know he's covered in grease for some reason. And then you see a bullet flying through the air, and you wake up.
And Killjoy is like in front of you, like,
Or
hello?
you can see the whites in his eyes, and he sort of goes out of it.
Do I need to repeat the question?
What? Sorry.
I said, do you know Naomi quite well, don't you? What were you doing there?
Don't worry about it. And I'll like pick up the little finger bones that I threw on the table and put them back in a little bag and put them within his jacket. Nothing specific. Why?
Well, you two seem to have some shared history. I was wondering if you'd elucidate. Given your quietness around large groups of people, perhaps when there's just the two of us and Mumbles over here.
Scarlet is still there, but she's still spaced out.
Yeah.
The wall is super interesting, apparently. Or maybe it's the ceiling, actually. Still, her hand is still on your knee, JK. She's just sort of holding and looking the other way. Into the infinite abyss.
We also have this one. But yeah. No, I know Naomi from a while back.
How did you two meet?
Well, explosive situations.
Interesting. Yeah. You it's I thought I understood that it was rare for people such as us to have close friendships, and yet you seem close. Am I wrong?
The last few years of Inquisition has been rough on everyone. Finding someone to help or have help from has been valuable.
You trust her?
To a degree, yes.
Good.
Although we have different views on politics and such, but
Yeah.
that's to be expected.
Anything I should be aware of?
In terms of politics?
In terms of your disagreements?
Well, for one, I am not of the Camarilla, which she obviously is. And that in itself makes disagreements.
What about this new Camarilla that our Grand Leader is seeking to usher us into? What do you think about that? A place of inclusivity where the rivers will run with milk and honey as it was in the days of old.
Well, if he manages to abolish an ancient promise, then I'll be happy.
Joshua, he turns around, he looks at you, JK, and he says, "The father was coming. I could see it from a mile away, like a shadow creeping behind the Reaper. The orphan," he looks at you, Killjoy, "is looking for something."
Yeah, the orphan's looking for a lot right now. Some private time. That all right, Mumbles?
God damn!
He
This is my
says,
favorite.
"Again, it was like he could hear my thoughts. I must keep a close eye on this one.
We can all hear your
He's
thoughts.
too clever for his own good."
Yeah.
And Joshua says in his normal voice, it's just, "What are you looking for, friend?" And he picks out a flashlight and lights you straight in the face.
Which one?
The Killjoy.
Ah.
Oh, shit.
Hey, your act's cute and all, but just because you think you're insane doesn't mean you're insane. I'm sure you're smarter than you look, and people will ignore you if you just mumble around and walk, but please.
He was underestimating me. Clearly an advantage.
Can you get that out of my face, please?
He didn't like the light. Maybe he had something to hide. I was shining a light on his truth. And just keeps staring at you very intently and like he's really trying to get you to talk, but it's just a scene that's playing out in his own head.
If at all possible, and this is totally up to you as a storyteller, but I would like to have Alex walk up right behind at that point and put a hand on Killjoy's shoulder and say to Joshua, "Oh, we all have things to hide, but I'm sure he's quite fine."
He turns the flashlight right in your face instead. I mean, it's still on Killjoy, but it's slightly turned. He said, "The king has secrets. Interesting."
The king and his court and all of
the merry men
and subjects and everyone in here, it has secrets abound like riches in this kingdom. He's playing along with him.
Nathaniel comes back into the room.
Can I just say to Alex before he does, like, I'll just mumble something along the lines of, "Man, you brown nose to everyone, don't you?"
Hey, Alex just winks.
He's carrying a tray with what looks like some bread and some toppings on top, some cheese and I don't know, different sorts of food, and puts it on the table, the desk, where Judith, soon after, she comes down the stairs in a new outfit. It looks a bit too large for her. Maybe it's just the style of clothing. I mean, there's a lot of room in Scarlett's dress as well. And she sits down at the table very quietly, just looks at you, each of you, for a moment, and starts eating food.
I'll smile at her.
Takes a few bites and goes and moves on to the next. What are you doing while this is happening? Are you just looking at her like a zoo animal, or
No. Alex is going to sit down next to her, if at all possible, and ask her, are you feeling any better? How are you doing?
I'm still hungry. This food tastes weird. She looks at Nathaniel, and he takes it back, and he says, I just wanted to see. And he puts it and goes into the same drawer Scarlett opened previously, and pulls out one of those bottles and hands it to her. Says, "Drink this, sweetie." She looks at it skeptically. Looks back at him, but he seems to have some kind of sway over her still. And she bottles him up. And looks like she feels a lot better. She looks calmer. You all know what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's the best shit in the world, and it always is. And
things are going to be a little different now.
She looks at the bottle and said, "What was that?" And Nathaniel just says, without any expression, just, "That was blood, dear." And she's shocked immediately. "Blood? Yeah. What do you mean blood?" And she looks at you, Alex.
You are not what you were, and this will be what you need from now on. And we need to talk. I can help you understand the way things are going to be now, but it will be different. I know you didn't ask for any of this. I know that it is not what you ever wanted, but I can help you navigate this new life if you're willing to let me. I promise I will take care of you and keep you safe. But I need your trust, and I need you to understand that the world is a whole lot more dangerous now, for you and for the rest of us as well, if I do this for you. It is a different world than you grew up in, and not to go into too much detail about it, but we can't let anyone else know what we are. We are not what we were. And
what do you mean? What are we? When can I go home to my parents?
No,
Jeez.
you can't. You can't.
Why not?
I know you don't. Well, because first of all, and he holds up the vial. He says, "You are what we call kindred. In popular culture, it has another name." And he whispers in her ear, "Vampire." That's what you are. I know. Hard
she
to
looks
believe.
at you, but she's just thinking like pieces are falling into place very, very slowly.
He raises his lip, and basically extends his fangs. He says,
I'll do something fun here. Just for the shits and giggles. I'll willpower her.
Do it.
She's fine. She gets spooked for a moment and hisses at you with her own teeth. And goes back into control and like, what the fuck? What was that voice in my head?
He's fine.
Your best friend.
Yeah, that is a voice you'll be hearing for the rest of your life.
It didn't like you doing that.
No, and it's not good for you, generally speaking. We all have it, and we learn to control it.
She puts her head in her hands and starts mumbling, "This can't be fucking real. This is crazy."
He puts his hand on her back. He's doing the best he can to comfort her in whatever way possible.
Do a charisma and either leadership or persuasion.
I'm gonna go with persuasion.
Persuasion would be good.
Yep, I'm gonna go with persuasion. And I am going to rouse here. So we're gonna go with that.
You don't get any hungrier.
That's right. So Alex's beast stays well down. All right. So I am not going to activate Daunt here, or awe for that matter. Because I don't want anybody else in the room to feel like I'm trying to affect them in that way. So I'm just going to play
probably
it
not a good idea.
Yeah. And we're going to add 2 to this. That's 5 successes.
Okay.
5.
He's pretty persuasive.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna beat it, but just for the sake of it. Nope, 1 success.
Okay.
She looks at you. Her eyes are bloody, teary. She tries to smile. She looks like she's calmer, and she looks at Naomi. I assume you've gotten back.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm just moving.
Let me know what's up.
Oh,
where'd it go?
Far away. She looks at you, Naomi.
Okay.
She says, "He cool?" And she nods toward Alex, kind of as she's talking to you, woman to woman.
Yeah, she basically like, give me a moment. To Alex.
Okay. And is that, I'm sorry, out of character, is that you saying that you need to talk to him again, or that you just need a moment to...
Oh, no, I need a moment to talk to her.
Oh, okay.
That's Naomi. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah. And he's going to say, sure. He's not trying to, like... He's trying to just let this play out in the softest, kind of most comforting way possible. So, yeah.
Yeah, she already is pretty okay with anyways, she just really wants to get a one-on-one. Is that what you're insinuating, storyteller?
She's asking you, because you're the only woman in the room right now who's not staring into the distance. And paying attention. So she asked you is he cool? Like, am I gonna get abused by this man? Kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Not being gaslighted, basically.
Yeah. So,
And
this is where my journal's coming out. This is all the shit I wanted to fucking write up this week. She just wants to ask, like, how do you feel right now? Like, where are you at? Like, emotionally, mentally, what's going on?
I just want to go home and call my friends and talk to my parents. Get back to normal.
Okay.
It's kind of a nightmare. I still have the smell stuck in my nose.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the memories, they're pretty brutal. And then she kind of looks at Alex for a minute. And then looks back to her. Do you feel comfortable with him? She wants to like ask her intuition because she's a little bit more human than she is.
I mean, I just met you guys, but he's the only one I know. I mean, from magazines, but
okay. So,
am I gonna be living with a rock star? She says it under her breath, and it's kind of excited, actually, like a teenage girl would be, but it's still with being very hesitant and nervous.
Yeah. Naomi takes a minute to kind of go over the context of what everything just happened and wanted to encourage that I'm sure this fucking smoky filled room is like an absolute luxury compared to what you just been through. She didn't want to lead on the fact that they don't even really know each other yet as it is, but also that Alex is a strong leadership. As a Camarilla, which obviously you don't know what that means yet, you will. She takes a moment, she's like, I actually, you know what? Yeah, you look human, relatively. Kind of explore that. Maybe you can actually see your parents. And she tries to give like false hope. And reassure her emotionally and mentally that like she's in a relatively safe space for a moment. And that and she even sympathizes, being like, even in our kind right now, there's like a handful of us. That's not exactly a normal thing. Like the best government we have is actually Alex, surprisingly. I know he doesn't look much like it right now, but being under the influence of someone else's vitae, I can understand how he'd probably be the most appealing out of all of us. Personally, I'm not exactly comfortable with bonding specifically with another woman. It is quite intoxicating. Again, I don't even know what your experience was like, but you could possibly be, I don't know.
What's bonding? That's some sort of BDSM? Because I'm not into that.
Yeah.
Especially with older men.
Yeah. She takes a moment and was like, you're straight, right? Like, are you okay with being potentially in a romantic relationship with Alex?
She's way too old for me.
Okay.
Says they're
what are you doing here? Have you met Duskborn before?
What?
People like her. Have you met them before?
No, I haven't. I know what she is, though.
Carry on.
Nathaniel.
Do you know what she is? Okay.
Can I make a roll to see if Alex knows that Killjoy knows what she is?
Yeah.
He said Duskborn.
Yeah, okay. All right. So it's clear he knows.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
But it could have something to do with his preferred food.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just being. You don't know his clan. He hasn't said it or claimed it or had any pride in it.
Yeah.
So might have. You don't think he's one himself.
Alex is going to respond because
Okay.
Naomi's right there, I assume.
Yeah.
And say it won't be a bond the way you're thinking about it. He looks at Naomi. And
basically,
he says,
she's trying to mentally prepare her, being like, it's not what you ultimately think it will be, but like you're connected with him. That's all she was basically trying to insinuate. She doesn't know how her unique experience is going to be.
Yeah. And he says it's more going to be that you, and he's speaking to Judith right now. He says it's more that you'll be taken care of, and yes, you'll be able to you'll have a space where I am. You'll be living with a rock star.
It's like having a relationship with a rock star. I'm not insinuating it's going to be a real thing.
It's not going to be anything like you might be thinking in terms of bonds or human terms or anything like that. It'll be more like, hey, I'm looking after you to make sure that you stay safe and to make sure that everybody else stays safe. That's my primary job here with everybody. Making sure that everybody's safe.
She looks at you and she says, to be honest, I just want to forget about it. And when she says forget, all of you feel something in your mind. It doesn't affect you because she's not powerful. Alex, you know what's being done here. She's, I don't think, it's not deliberately. But she's showing that she has some kind of discipline. Right.
And he says what you just did.
What did I
was
just
an
do?
Example. You actually used a particular. He's just going to say it, power that you now have. That you didn't even realize, and this is why I want to be able to help you understand what you are now. And I realize that you just want this all. You just want to wake up from all this. Who wouldn't? The way we found you, that was horrifying, and it's a lot to take in right now.
Is it like that for all of you?
It's different for all of us, but I will say that your experience was absolutely terrifying. But it is, in its own way, not great for all of us. It is the way things happen. I am sorry that it happened to you that way, but for your own safety. And for that of anyone you care about, I can't stress this enough. You need to understand what you are and how to keep yourself and the ones you care about safe, and that's going to require a little bit of learning. And I'm willing to take that on.
I think I understand. I've seen vampire movies before.
Not like that. No.
No.
Sorry. That's no.
But
Naomi's right.
I have powers, and aren't we like top of the food chain?
Nope.
Like so many other things, the movies are not correct.
So, if we're vampires, we eat humans. Who eats us?
Let's answer that question in 3 months from now when you're mentally prepared to handle that.
You're right.
Like, take a step at a time, girl. Like, eat your food. I don't know.
The answers are coming. But this will take time, and we need you to listen to everything we say for now, for the safety not only of yourself but your family, everyone you care about. You're in more danger right now than you can possibly understand.
Nathaniel, kind of interrupts and says, what do you all think? Scarlet, she wakes from her, whatever it is, and she just says, oh, it's fine, he's a good boy. And she actually comes up to you, Alex, and squeezes your cheek and just slowly walks up the stairs. Like, it's fine. I need a nap. And she leaves the room. And Joshua is still mumbling to himself. If you pay attention, he's just listing imaginary clues to imaginary problems that he's having at the moment.
Can I like squeak one word in for her, and that's it?
No, it's fine. Nathaniel is just asking everyone's opinion if they think it's a good idea that Alex takes her.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was going to address anyways. And basically, she looks at Alex and just being like, just make sure she's mentally prepared into going, like, how do I say this? Just let her make sure she's mentally prepared before she makes this decision. Like, she understands clearly what she's getting into. That is all I ask. And I expect you to do that.
Nathaniel say that if she breaks the masquerade, I'll hold you accountable.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
If you want the responsibility, then I can't argue with it. What about you, Mr. Shades? He looks at Vaughn.
Oh no, I'm still in the bar.
Oh, you're in the bar. Never mind then. Yeah. And JK is
Other side of the room.
He's in the chair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any objections? He looks at Killjoy and JK.
Yeah. Naomi looks at Killjoy.
Objections? Well, none, I suppose. Perhaps. Oh, I love the Camarilla. If anything goes wrong, it's on you, isn't that right, King?
That's usually how it works.
No objections, Your Honor. Though, if you ever want another place for her, my bar is always hiring. Get her out of your hair, somewhere else, a chance for her to perhaps breathe and live a slightly more normal life. Then we can talk about that at another time. But there's an option there. For now, I think she's best with you. Yours seemed more secure.
Judith says, do I have to go back to school?
Oh shit, how young are you?
I'm 18.
He says you will be educated. You will receive education in a way that is, again.
But do I have to write term papers and everything?
No, you're past all that.
Okay,
now.
so there's one good thing about this.
Yeah.
Just basically, she looks to him and be like, you basically got an internship. I don't know what else you want.
With a rock star. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he signs it off, you're good to go. If you want to go physics, you can go physics.
Yeah.
It's about 2 hours until dawn, and we're gonna move to the part where you can tell me, each of you, I'll just go through what you want to do before bed. And where you're going and everything.
Okay.
Because it is getting into the late hours, and you can feel your bodies, they're starting to feel sluggish and heavy. As you're standing in this room. Well, you're still having a conversation, but it seems like you come to some sort of agreement that Alex is gonna watch her for now, at least. So I guess I'll just start with you, Alex. What's your intention? How do you want to get her home, or where do you want to take her?
So Alex is going to, again, discreetly take her, to where the car picks up, out of the bar, say goodnight to everyone, make sure everybody has everybody's contact information, and that they will be in contact tomorrow night. And that he is going to take Judith back to his haven in a discreet fashion. He will, if she has a hat or a hoodie or whatever.
She's gawking at all of it.
Yeah. And so he's going to take her back in his car with instructions that she be given a secure room away from everybody else. In other words, she's not to be interacting with anybody else. She's not to feel like a prisoner, but he doesn't want her making any mistakes at this point. So, and he's able to, he will talk with her more on the way home. Actually,
do you
tomorrow
want
night.
her in your penthouse, one of the rooms in the penthouse?
Yeah. I feel like she could, use one of the rooms there. He's going to instruct his security that if she is one of those ones that can possibly operate during the day and things like that, that she's not to be, to leave the haven except under,
Supervision?
yes, exactly, supervision, and she's not to go anywhere near her family or anything else. And this is only if she insists. If she's fine with kind of hanging out until he wakes up again, that's fine too. But he doesn't want her to feel like a prisoner, but at the same time, he wants to make sure that she is watched and supervised. So yeah.
Honestly, you just invite her to you show her your like record collection.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, she's allowed to take the tour, as it were.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean,
that's a great idea.
It's like when you get into a hotel, just bigger and more fancy.
Right, exactly.
And she's looking at everything, and within half an hour, she's wearing one of your silk bathrobes. And
right.
The hair and the towel and everything.
Honestly, give her a nice bath and she'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he will do all that.
And when she sees her new room is bigger than her apartment, then...
Exactly.
And that she can just call a phone and things will show up. She adjusts very fast, but it might be that everything has not hit her yet, and she has a full stomach.
Right.
So
exactly.
The beast is not currently affecting her.
Yeah.
She seems very human, very teenage girl.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to do before dawn?
What's our options?
Oh, it's just Alex. I'm going.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to do anything else unless somebody else has something for him to do.
I'll give you a bell at some point.
Killjoy. Yeah, then you're calling Alex. Are you going back to your bar?
Alex still has my walkie-talkie.
Oh.
That's how he's going to get in contact.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So he will mingle and try and get a bit of a read on Mumbles a bit more, but at some point he'll leave. And just get to within like a couple miles of the Kairos mansion, and we'll just kind of buzz in and go, when you got a minute.
Yeah.
You might be in the middle of bathrobing.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. While Judith is off taking care of herself and getting the bath of her, I mean, like she's getting herself all taken care of and settled in, we can have this conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is quite secure, this line. It's ex-military radio, so
Excellent.
you should be safe.
I'm impressed. Thank you.
That's all right. The girl, her family, the Masquerade. You need them taken care of.
In time, perhaps. I would assume, since it's been a couple months, that conclusions have already been made. And if they stay that way...
Well, Judith thinks it's December.
She does. And Alex is going to dispel that notion in the easiest way possible that he can. But it's not December. And weeks have passed. And while missing persons and all that stuff can be filed and all that stuff, after a certain period of time, as he said, conclusions are made. And if those conclusions remain untouched, then it might be okay. And that's why Alex is going to make sure that interactions with her family are barred for now, because he can't handle that. So that's why he says to KJ, for now, let's not do that. But I appreciate that being an option in the future. But for right now, it hasn't yet become a necessity. So let's save that as an option of last resort.
You need to find out where she lives. Where do they live? You need to have that information ready at a moment's notice.
Go find it.
I have people who, nothing supernatural, just people who can and will make them disappear and move away. Or perhaps gas explosions happen.
Of course.
Accidents happen.
Of course.
And I have the feeling from being around you now for almost an entire night that you can understand what business needs to be done.
Absolutely.
And perhaps others are more touchy-feely about this sort of thing, but you've been in the game a while.
I am.
They come and go.
They will be handled in the most discreet and compassionate way possible. I give you my word. I assure you, it will be taken care of.
I would advise that perhaps you keep hold of this communications device. It might be useful. I'll procure another pair for my personal use.
Certainly. Thank you. I appreciate it. And this will serve as a wonderful means of communication. So thank you.
Their range is, give or take, around 25 miles.
Excellent. Excellent. This is a nice little piece of technology you have.
Yes, it is.
Take care of yourself, Killjoy.
Yeah.
Are you going back to your haven, Killjoy? Do you have any pit stops?
He's going to pick up another change of clothes or something like that for the ones that he burnt or hid. And
I mean, it's 4 a.m. It's not like any shops are open.
Yeah,
but
but he'll like order stuff to the bar
Yeah.
and his girl's name and all of that stuff.
And because you are on it anyways, if you want to, you can look Judith up on social media.
Well, he'll have to do that once he's back.
Back
Well,
at
I don't
your
think he
haven.
has a computer that's hooked up. Actually, no, he doesn't have anything.
The bar
like that.
has one.
The bar will have
I mean,
one.
it serves as a register, but it is a computer and it has a connection. And everyone is gone mostly.
Yeah,
When you get back.
definitely. He won't search anything like that. He's very careful about that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Just order some clothes.
can I jump to Vaughn?
Yeah.
Yep. Vaughn, as you're leaving, Gabriel, as you're thinking about leaving anyways, Gabriel, he walks into the bar room with you and sort of taps you on the shoulder, just holds a fist out like he wants to bro fist you before he sits down next to you.
Okay, and just a point of order, would I be able to, because I have a point of fame in the London busking scene, would I have been able to actually just feed a little bit on those the punks that were there? You mentioned that they were on drugs too.
Yes.
I'm down to roll for it.
Do a streetwise or persuasion, and charisma or manipulation. That's up to you.
Okay, I'll do charisma and persuasion, and just to be safe, I'll just add. I'll do the normal. I'll add the awe to it as well.
Yeah.
London busker. Yeah, boy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of counterculture people be like, oh, I know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen you. Yeah.
6.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Good job.
But you're very smooth
Nice.
and very quiet about it. And you
Ending the night well.
You can go down to 1 if you want to.
Yep. And now I have, because they were on hallucinogens, right?
Yeah, you're having
Probably,
having a good time. They're
So,
on
yeah.
something else as well, but that's not really what you're paying attention to.
Hoo-wah.
But
So
you-
I got like a +1 to all socials now.
Yeah. Until
And,
your next feeding, actually, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, Gabriel, he sort of just says hello to you in a bro manner. He can sense that you are of the same. And says, "What's up, bro?"
Hey, how's it going? And do like the... Wait, he's Bruja, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, I'm just like, hey, how's it going? My eyes are like dilated. How are you? His hair looks green to me.
Do you have a place to close the coffin tonight?
I have options. I usually kind of keep it. So I kind of go back and forth between places, you know, every other day.
Oh, you can sleep here, but if you want to, you'll have to be now. Otherwise, you need to leave because we're closing up.
Oh, you're offering?
Well, you can stay here. It's fine.
Wow. Man, I appreciate that. I would like to do an insight check, please.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like immediately, I'm sure, was that like insight and wits, right?
Or intelligence. It depends.
Oh. May I use wits?
Yeah, you can use the one you want. The answer is just gonna be different.
I gotcha. So insight, wits, and do. I don't know. This is completely up to you. This might be mental, as in like mental pool. Would the hallucinogens factor in at all? Would they give me like an extra bit of insight, or would that be more mental? Which means it's not in my.
You
pool?
get an extra die. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, buddy.
The spirits are telling me more.
Two successes. What are you trying
Not
to
bad,
figure
not
out?
bad.
If he's lying or if he's genuine?
I'm trying to see if there's any malice or opportunism that's driving him to want me to stay at this place where I'm vulnerable.
He seems friendly. He seems genuine. He's an anarch, and it's kind of a. There's quite a lot of vampires under the same roof.
Okay.
So it seems like one more wouldn't hurt.
And have I had a previous rapport with him prior to all of this Mithras business?
No, but he knows what you are, and
okay.
So he knows you're not in the system, and that carries a certain amount of respect.
Okay.
And that you're the free living type.
I think about it for a second, and Vaughn just looks at him and is like, "All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Do I owe you a boon now?" And I kind of give him like a little bit of a chuckle.
No,
not at all. That's how the Camarilla does things.
Not at all, my friend.
I appreciate it. I'll remember this though.
We're not killing anyone or doing anything extreme. It's just it's place to get stiff. Really.
I appreciate that.
And there are no mortals here during the day. Jamar makes sure of that.
Is he like a ghoul, or is he...
Oh, very much so.
I got you.
And an exceptional man before that. Have you seen him? He's huge.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't want to mess with him.
It's a good first impression for the bar. Don't fuck with anyone.
Of course not. I would never do such a thing.
Is there anything you want to do before you get to bed eventually?
Just sort of, just mingle among the people, maybe talk to some of the staff, get a few numbers, and, I don't know, just kind of find a nice little place, like a little place I could just lay my head down. So.
Yeah. Naomi?
Yes.
What do you want to do before bed, if anything? I assume you're going home.
She wants a Birdie Boy's number. The person who stopped bullets.
Oh,
she wants to keep contact.
Nathaniel doesn't have a phone.
Oh shit! Never mind. Okay.
The easiest way is through one of his daughters, but Scarlett has gone upstairs. So
yeah,
if you want to try that, then you can. But otherwise, it's the place here. But there's no direct way of contacting him. Unless you want to ask him about it.
No, she's gonna actually see what JK is up to and what he's willing to do or wanting to do.
I mean, if you're willing to drink anything of Nathaniel's blood, then you can. But
oh no, no, she had her snack in the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, JK, you were about to say something.
Yeah. No. JK's probably just gonna head back towards his haven.
Okay, sounds solid. Sounds like a plan. Like she does basically the same thing, and she asks him like quickly, being like, "Well, what do you think about fucking what happened today?"
Well, we found the lair of the Sabbat, for one. Not that there's anything left of it. And we found a bunker full of corpses.
We definitely did.
Which means they've been here for a while.
Yes. And she basically trusts him that he would have a little bit more detailed information on that. sounds good. She's ready to pack up to head back to her haven.
Alrighty. Is there anything you want to do when you get back?
Waters their plants.
When you come in, they sort of caress is not the right word, but gently stroke you, one of the vines when you enter the room. You know it does that normally. It's very much alive. And they're you would know they're happy to see you, which is weird. They're plants, but you can feel it.
Oh, I didn't know they had souls. That's
you
cute.
have given them souls by doing magic.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so fucking cute.
I mean, it's still a plant, so it's just because it's connected to you. But
yeah, it likes sunlight. It's fine.
You take care of them, and they know it.
Yeah. Okay. So she one of her. She doesn't kiss or anything, but like in a tender moment, like where she's like really nurturing, she kind of like gingerly like kind of puts it aside and kind of tucks it away, so it's like not exactly hitting her.
I have to mention a lot of these plants are things that would kill mortals if they were just near them.
Really?
I mean, you had poisonous things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and they were quite beautiful, but doesn't affect you in any way.
Oh yeah, I was wondering. I assume I probably focus on like quite a bit of flowers. Like I have Devil's Trumpet and what's it called? I think it's also Angel's Trumpet. Like I could probably have a couple of plants of those around. Those are incredibly deadly. Cool. Yeah, she kind of like interacts with her plants for a little bit, and I guess she has like her own relationship with them. It's hard to say. Like she would want to kind of like journal for a bit and do her like wind down for the night. She basically like I guess texts Alex and being like, "Don't fuck this up."
He's just gonna give her a thumbs up in response. So.
Yeah. So and then she also texts JK being like, "Dude, I don't know what's going on. I'm fucking hearing voices. This shit sucks. Like, help me out here. Tell me what's going on." And she like plans like let's meet at a coffee shop at like X amount of time. She also like orders some like drugs in because she saw how everyone was enthralled by that. So she actually starts growing more of like what hallucinogens, if you will.
Yeah.
So I guess some seeds on order, however she may do that. And what else would she do? Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. Like you guys don't know, but just to kind of describe her shop, you walk in, there is a staircase in the back, past the washrooms, and then it's like she lives primarily in this like tiny studio, but it's also like the roof of it. So it's all caged in, like there's no windows or anything, but it is, all of her furniture is black. Very minimalistic, if I could describe it. Very quality, but minimalistic. Because that's all she really needs. And yeah, so it's like a bedroom studio suite. And yeah, she just kind of enjoys the nights and like definitely journals, like all the information. That's it.
Alrighty. JK, as you're walking home, pretty much when you enter it, you get a premonition pushed into your mind. It happens as a reflex. You see a skeleton who has a puppet, a string puppet tool in his hand. He's sort of hanging above you, and the threads are connected to you. And you see you're doing like Pinocchio as he's pulling the strings, and you can't see a skeleton smile, but you know it's smiling at you. And then you hear a voice that says to you, "I'm coming, son. I'm coming for you."